the government is evolving. All these, the Tea Party, the 9/12 Project, the Republicans in Congress, conservative talk show hosts on the radio, and some on television are saying how we're going to get you in 2010, in November. There's going to be a conservative tide. I'm warning you people, come November 2010, Republicans and conservatives are going to get spanked so bad if they do not come around to a couple of things. You have to understand the Constitution. You have to understand about the more complicated rights, not just the simple ones like right to bear arms. A lot of you don't know what the hell you believe. You say you believe in the free market, and yet first chance you get played by the media. You get all worked up about CEO executive pay. You get all worked up about the Federal Reserve. You get all worked up about big insurance, how cruel they are and greedy, and how the banks aren't treating you fairly, how you are suing your doctor for some off-the-wall stuff. You're just largely hypocritical. About the only conservative thing about most of you people is the whole pro-life, pro-choice thing. About the only thing that you can understand, and I'm with you on that. I'm 100% with you. I hate abortion. I would love to see it outlawed, but the way you're going at it is not, it's not going to work. And then, the final thing, and probably the big thing, is illegal aliens. First of all, if somebody has a spacecraft and comes out of the sky, I would theorize that they're from a more advanced planet than us, and there's going to be no stopping them. But seriously, you have to understand a little bit about security. If you think about it, about the only fences that work, only borders that work, don't keep people out. The only ones that work are the ones that keep people in. Other than that, you have the greatest country in the world, the United States of America, that will soon be losing that righteous distinction. You living, with a 2,500-mile border, alongside a very poor third world country, rich in resources that our country buys from them, our number 2 trading partner in the world, our number 2 oil supplier in the world, Mexico, and a very highly corrupt government bought off by drugs that is exporting to our country and providing within our country the means of importing the drugs that they want to export to us. That's big money. That's really big money. It's industrial strength money. There's going to be no stopping it. If you try to stop it, there is very intimidating, violent, scary means by which they will ensure their supply train to complete its course from point A in Mexico to point B in the United States of America. All you Tea Party people, 9/12 Project, conservative Republicans, of which I am one. I got a right wing right under my damn shirt over here that I have to hide when I go out in public because people might think I'm some kind of freak. You love to talk about Ronald Reagan. You say you are searching for the next Ronald Reagan. Well, I don't think you totally really understand Ronald Reagan. I recommend you think about, what did Ronald Reagan do besides not saying anything bad about other Republicans? He was free market to the bone. He was free religion to the bone. He was anti-abortion to the bone. Free enterprise capitalist to the bone. He was a private property and the right to do what you want with your land. And he also never did a thing against illegal immigration. If you remember, this supposed problem of illegal immigration has been with us for decades and decades. Even during Reagan's time, remember that movie Born in East L.A. with Cheech, of the Cheech and Chong fame? They wouldn't let him back across the border, and he got stuck down in Mexico for a time, and then he had to sneak back across the border with 5 Vietnamese guys that pretended like they were Mexicans. Great movie, man. But the point is that the problem of illegal immigration existed back then, and even back then it was an old problem. Reagan was governor of California. Reagan never did nothing that I know of against illegal immigration, and when he became president he didn't either. What he did do, he did his best to fight a war on drugs. I'm not sure if it helped or hindered. I have a feeling it didn't really do anything, but his philosophy was to fight the war over there. And I'm sure a lot of drugs got intercepted, but I'm also sure that whoever did the intercepting, the Americans or the Colombians or the Panamanians or the Mexicans, whatever, whoever the Americans trained, invariably the majority of them turned out to go to find that there's more money in peddling the drugs themselves and being part of the baggage train and the infrastructure and the logistics of moving it to America. That's where the real money is. And besides that, if you don't come over to our side, us drug dealers and the cartels, then we're going to frickin' boil you in oil. Okay, so choice is yours, and boil your family in oil, and boil your mama in oil, and boil your next door neighbor in oil. So you might as well take a walk on the wild side. At least you'll be walking. That's what happened there. I recommend also that you read a book, the one that Oliver North wrote called Under Fire. Really, in my mind, tells the truth about the Iran-Contra affair. It's really, after reading that book, that's when I started paying attention to politics. And that's also where I figured out there's a media bias, a liberal media bias. And the media hated Ronald Reagan. That book shows how it was an absolutely brilliant move. The Iran-Contra affair was probably the most successful war that has ever been fought by the United States. Make no mistake, that was a war. Just read the book. The beauty of that war was we won, and not one American lost his life in the war. And not too many of the good guys who America supported lost their lives. The enemy got spanked.